Welcome back to CTV Morning Live. We are joined by Joel Griset from K3C Credit Counselling. He's giving me counseling in the commercial break, I can tell you that. Give us a call live on the air, 789-6559, extension 2803. You can always send in your questions via email, ottawa.morning@ctv.ca, or you can reach us on our Facebook page as well. Joel, great to see you back.
Thanks for having me back.
And I was joking about it because right now we're about to talk money management.
Right.
And I'm learning there are 5 steps that we should be very aware of.
Well, there are 5 very simple steps, and they shouldn't be all that intimidating. I mean, the whole idea is to get an understanding of where you spend your money, which I find that a lot of us, due to convenience, we don't have a really good understanding. Money goes into our checking account, and then we use our debit card until it's all gone, and then we sit around and wait for a paycheck.
Right, and you kind of tend to think, okay, I anticipate, car insurance. You think in your head what you think might be going through, but you probably should have a better outline and know exactly what's happening.
Well, the insurance and the mortgage or your rent and that kind of thing, a lot of people know that that's coming out and understand how much they spend on it. There are items like groceries and gas and entertainment, meals out, and your daily coffee, and those are the types of things that I think that people have a hard time grasping and understanding how much money they actually spend on those things. So the first step of that is to start writing down where you spend your money. Take a month. You don't have to do this for your whole life. Just take a month, take a pad, and write down where you spend your money, and then you'll have a really good idea where it actually goes. So when you put it on a spreadsheet, it makes sense. It's based on reality, because I'll tell you, when I start looking at people's budgets, they tend to underestimate how much money you spend on different things. So it gives you a really good idea. And the first step, by writing everything down, don't not buy anything because you have to write it down, because then you're not getting true to yourself. So if you start with that, and then you move on to, okay, now it's on a spreadsheet, and ask yourself this: can I get a better bang for my buck? Can I reduce some of my spending, a little bit here, a little bit there, to get a better bottom line? And that's really what it's all about. You want to make sure that you don't spend more than you make. So if you're spending more than you make, then you say, okay, well, how much are my banking fees, and can I get those reduced? What about my cell phone bill? Can I get that reduced? Or all kinds of different things. Your grocery shopping, or your Tim Hortons. If I don't like to say names of companies, but if you were to basically make coffee at home instead of going out, you're not going without your coffee. It just reduces your amount of money you spend, right?
These are some of the things that once you have it written down and someone comes to you and says, listen, we are in somewhat of a difficulty, it's easier for you to be able to pinpoint where things are happening. And these are some of the companies that you have understandings with, in terms of banks, that you can find certain ways to deal with some of these fees.
Well, I help people that are going through debt, right? And that's always the reason that they make the phone call, is because they're finding themselves overwhelmed for whatever reason. So they call us and they say, I need help with debt. So you get them in and you help them with debt. We look at the different options and you get them, in a better debt position. And then you say, okay, well, let's get you back in here and talk about how to move from here. Because many times your credit's affected, you don't have use of credit cards. You have to start better managing your money moving forward so that it doesn't happen again, and B, you can save for things that are coming up.
One of the things, do you find that there's a certain time of the year, right now especially, we are 11 shopping days away from Christmas, that people find themselves overwhelmed right now, and it's not until January comes around and really we see the statements coming in that you start to have a sense of that panic.
Leanne, it's so bizarre. I don't have a pulse on peaks and valleys. It's pretty much consistent. You anticipate that December is going to be slow. I anticipate in my office that December is slow, and we're having a really good year, I guess, in a sense, in my terms, because there's more people that are calling this year than were last year. And even Carol, one of my receptionists, was saying I wasn't anticipating it to be this busy, and it's picking up.
Well, if you look too at what we're seeing with food banks and Toy Mountains, you can sense that there's families that are in trouble right now and that are in need, and so that has to be reflective of the types of issues that you're dealing with the clients that are coming in.
Yeah, you're right, absolutely.
All right, so we had the money management, so we wrote everything down.
Right, you write it down, and then you figure out where you can save some money, and then once you jig your budget and it's the best you can do it, then what I try to preach is an envelope system. You're going to hate me now. Is an envelope system where you understand how much cash you're going to need between pay periods and withdraw it in one shot.
So you would have an envelope that says this is purely for groceries.
For gas, groceries, entertainment, If you give an allowance to your kids, you put it in there so then you have it in front of you. You know what's going to happen in your bank account. If you pull out what you need and you leave enough in your bank to cover your bills, you don't have to worry about what's coming through and what's not. And every time you use your debit card, you're holding your breath to make sure that it's going through. And oh my gosh, did I forget a bill that's coming out later? And these are all issues that we all deal with. And if you use a system where you say, okay, I know what needs to go in my checking account, I'm going to take everything else out, may hopefully save a little bit. But if you take the rest out, and that's what you have to deal with, and then you disperse it in your envelopes, and you gain control over where you spend your money.
Well, it's a hot topic for sure, and we're going to take a short commercial break. We'll be taking your questions, and we'll getting on. I like the envelope system, but it needs to be definitely explained and detailed.
Absolutely.
And enforced. I think is the key there is to actually continue and enforce it. There's how you can get a hold of us. You can give us a call live on the air, 789-6559, extension 2803. We're back right after this.